So we are here today with Teresa Payton of Fortalice Solutions, and we're talking about the 15th Annual National and International Cybersecurity Awareness Month. And Teresa has some tips for us for both business and individuals about cybersecurity.
Yeah, absolutely. And so for businesses, one of the things that we see that really works against business email compromise, typically that business email compromise is the CEO telling the CFO to wire money outside the company, and it looks completely legit, so CFOs actually do it. And this happens to large companies and small alike. And one of the things that can help you fight against that, as well as equipment purchase fraud and leasing purchase fraud, is to actually create a domain name that is not your company's forward-facing, public-facing domain name. So for example, if you're ABC company, come up with "we're not the company you're looking for.com," and then have your credentials all set up around that for your wire transfers, for large equipment purchases and large equipment leases. And that has actually helped large hospitals, large retailers, large government organizations that kind of move money around. It's helped law firms. So lots of different clients of ours have reported that spear-phishing campaign no longer works because they've created this domain name they use no place else except for that single purpose. That can really make a huge difference, doesn't cost a lot of money, not super complicated to implement. For individuals, I can't stress enough, it's not the only thing you should do, but two-factor authentication is sometimes the difference between complete account takeover and somebody leaving you alone and going on to the next victim. Mm-hmm. I can't tell you how many times, because of a recycled password or a password that was in a data breach and you didn't realize it had been dumped on the internet, and you don't change your passwords often and you don't use two-factor authentication, I'll have clients come to me and they'll say, they're in my email, they're in my iCloud account, or they're in my Google account, they're in all of my social media accounts, I can't get them out. And that, to me, that two-factor authentication, the not recycling passwords, and using multiple email addresses can be that great way to segment your life. The last thing I want people to be thinking about, both at their business and at home, is how do you create both logical and physical separation of information, so you have zones of trust and zones of zero trust. So for example, if you're implementing Internet of Things devices, those smart thermostats, smart doorbells, smart lights, smart rooms, whatever it is you're implementing, those are known to be highly insecure.
Okay.
What you want to do is create a segmentation of your home network or your office network where you can still modernize and have these amazing technologies, but make sure they have their own email address that's not your personal or your work domain name, and make sure they have a logically and physically separated access to the internet. So in the event there's an issue like the Mirai botnet that happened 2 years ago that took over these Internet of Things devices, you don't have to worry about cross-contamination because you've had that logical and physical separation.
Very good. Thank you so much.
Thanks for having me.